Hello everyone, Vampire218 here, bringing you another video in my Pokemon type analysis for the Pokemon types in the Draft League format. Today I will be touching upon the Bug type, the type which I have ranked at number 16. Now, immediately looking at this, it should be very clear why I typed this at number 16. And it's right here. You know, Bug types, they are weak against Fairy, Fighting, Fire, Flying, Ghost, Poison, and Steel. And that's really shitty. You know, if it wasn't weak against 7 types, it may be pretty good. Sure, it's strong against 3 types. But you have Ghost and Dark to cover that. You have Fire to cover that. And you're going to have Fighting to cover that. Its defensives aren't horrible. I will say that. And that's really nice that its defensives aren't horrible. But its offensives are what put it so low. Now let's go down to look at some actual mons of interest that you may want to draft from this type. So immediately we have Excelgor. And Excelgor is really interesting being an RU because of its speed stat. Boasting a 145 speed stat and a 100 special attack, this thing can put in work. And it'll put it in fast. You know, I'm never expecting an Excelgor. I'm always thinking, you know, it's just a bug type. And that's really why bugs in this are really interesting for the format. You never expect them to put in as much work as they do. So you see something like an Excelgor or a Beedrill or even Mega Beedrill, and you're not thinking they're going to hit as hard as they do. You underestimate them and you either under or over prepare for them. And that's one of the main appeals to grabbing a bug type. It's the opponent is never really prepared for what is actually coming. So for Mega Beedrill, you know, it goes from just 90 and 75, 90 attack, 75 speed, and, you know, people generally thinking, well, Beedrill's an okay mon, you know, back in the day, back in Red and Blue and Fire Red and Leaf Green, you know, Beedrill is one of those mons you might pick up, you might not. But then come Mega Time, it got the boost of a lifetime. Being a super fast Pokemon that hits like a truck, it's so underestimated in this format that when you see it, you better be prepared or you're going to be taking an almost deadly hit immediately. Going down here, the next one I really see that I'm really liking is Galvantula. And, you know, Galvantula being able to the Volt Switch and U-turn, that's huge. Not to mention that it can set up webs, that's huge. Like, it is super fast, it doesn't hit, you know, it doesn't hit bad either. It has a 97 in special attack, that's pretty good. Heracross, it's got a pretty good typing. You know, it can get that Moxie, and Mega Heracross, not too bad either. Not the fastest, but it'll take a hit, and it'll do out even more damage. You know, we keep going down here, and again, a lot of these you won't use. Pinsir, absolutely, you want to use Mega Pinsir. Even regular Pinsir is good, to be honest. You know, having an 100 defense, 125 attack, and an 85 speed, that's not bad. And then when it megas, whoo-hoo, you better look out, because that thing is going to be outspeeding quite a bit and hitting like a truck. Plus Aerialate, getting that quick attack, priority flying move now, whew, that gets boosted, damn, you're going to be hitting like a flying truck of death. Scizor, always been one of my favorite bug types and steel types since Gen 2. You know, they released Scizor and it's essentially an alternate form of Scyther. You know, it has the same stat total as Scyther, just rearranged, but, you know, in base form, having a 130 attack and 100 defense, while boasting an 80 special defense, that's pretty good for a bug type. Not to mention a steel type. And then it megas, and you're telling me it gets even more defense and more special defense while getting faster? You know, you're not living that, especially when it gets Technician, a Technician boosted Bullet Punch, and, you know, you can put Swords Dance on it, you can put U-turn on it, Knock Off. Mega Scizor is something to, you know, you need to be prepared for that and fear it. And then, I cannot see another good bug type in here that I would really talk about because I just wouldn't run any of the others. Again, you know, I should mention Shuckle just because it's kind of worth mentioning because, you know, it can do some shenanigans, but other than that, we go down to the move set here and we see finally a type that has an okay amount of status. You know, Defend Order not really counting because it's only one. Heal Order and the same thing, it's really only one mon that gets that. But then we get down into things like Quiver Dance, which boosts 3 stats, pretty good. And we get things like Spider Web and Sticky Web, and we're in that good area. We get things like Tail Glow, and I'm thinking, man, when has Volbeat looked so good? And you get that on Manaphy too, but Manaphy not being a bug type, whatever. It's Volbeat that gets it for that. And we get things like X-Scissor, just a good physical hitting move. And Bug is the first type we've seen here that has good special attacks from this, with things like Bug Buzz, Infestation for that utility, Silver Wind as your Omnis Wind or Ancient Power, the booster thing, Signal Beam with that chance to confuse, but then physical moves like Steamroller with that chance to flinch, X-Scissor, and even U-Turn, and then, even Twin Needle, hitting twice and each having a 20% chance to poison. That's really good. So, I mean, Bug, if it gets some sort of boost, if they mess with the typingness again in Sun and Moon, I think it'll probably go higher up on the list. But just as it is right now, it has some good mons in it. But their stats are just too low for comfort. They need to be boosted just a little bit to be more competitive in the draft format. And I think that they need to remove at least 2 of these things right here because, being weak against for offensive side 7 types is really hard to deal with. You don't really want to be bringing them on that's not going to cover like more than half of the draft. I use a bug type move and 5 of their mons resist it. Well, darn. Anyway, I've been Vampire 218 here, bringing you why I put Bug as the number 16 type on my Pokemon type analysis for the Draft League format. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and comment for more Pokemon Draft League format content. Bye!